People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Welcome to the Buck and 2 MC show. Cierra Burdick in the house. Thank you, Cierra, for joining us. All Lady Vol fans are very excited to see you. Alexis, we've all, except for me, because I was running late, trying to get home. Cierra had issues connecting because this particular app didn't want to let her mic and camera work. And Alexis has been in and out. Alexis, can we hear you now?
I hope you can hear me.
We got you.
We're good.
All right. Yeah. Yo, what up, everybody? It's goody. I'm happy to be back. Yeah, it was a little struggle to get us all locked in. Now, for the record, Cierra and I could see and hear each other the entire time once she was in the room, Maria. So I'm gonna put that on you.
All I saw were your names and no visuals. I mean, it's like I see that they're around, but I can't see them. So y'all's phones were talking, but our phones were not.
We were having technical difficulties for sure.
For sure.
That's okay. That's all right. Cierra, catch us up on what you have done for the last 2 or 3 months. Where in the world has Seabird been?
A whirlwind. Been living out of a suitcase per usual. I was in Poland for the past, let's say I was in Poland for 5 months. From like December 26th until, I don't even know what date, 5 months after December 26th. Then flew straight from Poland to Phoenix, got the bronze medal in Poland. Not necessarily the way I wanted to get it because they ended up canceling our bronze medal round due to some COVID stuff. But I got it. I said I wasn't going home without a medal. So God laughed and said, you're going to get your medal, but not how you want to. And so then from there, like 2 days before I was supposed to, fly home or figure out what I was doing next, I got a message from my agent asking me if I wanted to go to Phoenix training camp. And, Lex and I know how this WNBA thing works out, so my first question was like, what, do they just need an extra body for camp or what's the situation? But, I thought about it for maybe 5-10 minutes, called my mom. And I was like, look, it's another 3 weeks of basketball. I'm playing with some of the best players in the world. If anything, just go learn from Diana Taurasi and, soak up all you can and then see what happens. So I get to Phoenix, fly straight from Poland to Phoenix, have to do like COVID protocols, 6 consecutive negative tests. Had an awful scare with a test situation, which I can tell y'all about later if y'all want to hear it, but it was brutal. But then join the team, start practicing, start individual workouts, and just have a really good camp. And the staff, is really a fan of my game, and that was just a really cool experience to be a part of. The system they run is more cerebral, so it's like read and react offense, which I think is what I thrive in. And so that was good. I was just comfortable. I was confident. Diana was a huge fan of my game, which obviously helped me in numerous ways, just building my confidence and having her in my corner. So they ended up, keeping me. I signed, they technically had to waive me, and then they brought me back on a medical hardship contract until Kia Vaughn returned back from overseas. So I got to play the first 2 weeks of the season with them, and then unfortunately they had to let me go because they couldn't pay me. So that's kind of where the business and numbers part of the league comes in. I'm old now, so technically I am no longer on rookie salary. This was my 5th year service, so I had to make the vet minimum. And with the salary cap space that they had, they could only afford rookies. So wanted to keep me, didn't have the money to do so. That's part of the business. But just an all-around pretty awesome experience. Phoenix is a first-class organization, great people. and have nothing but good things to say about them. So I just enjoyed my time there. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a call back later on in the season once I'm prorated and at a cheaper price. We'll see. But yeah, now I'm home in good old Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm with family, so it's the first time I got to be with family in 6 months. So it's nice to be back in my own bed and in my own house with my crazy dogs. And now I'm just preparing for 3-on-3 nationals.
Cierra, you tell the best stories. Tell us about the test scare. What happened there?
Oh my gosh. So the COVID protocols for the WNBA are very strict, which is great. Okay, that's awesome. It's a 200 book like thing of basically if you're vaccinated, this is what you can do. And if you're not vaccinated, this is what needs to happen. And I, at this time, was not vaccinated. And so I had to get 6 consecutive negative tests to join team practices. And I had already arrived like a day or two later than everybody because the test that I had taken in Poland was not the test that I needed to fly. So the flight that I was taking, and I ended up changing my flight, but I forget where I was even connecting through, but that particular airport needed a certain test, and that's not the test that I took. And so like 12 hours before I'm supposed to fly, I'm like running around Bydgoszcz, my city in Poland. Lex actually played there.
Yeah.
Trying to find a freaking COVID test at 9:30 at night. I'm at a random hospital. They end up doing the test, but then they tell me, well, we can't translate it to English. Well, this particular airport did not take Polish language COVID test as a reliable test. So that was a disaster in itself. So we navigated through that. And then I finally get to Phoenix. I have to do like however many days of quarantine and the test. And I finally can start playing. Like I'm doing individual workouts. Everything's going great. And then we get a day off and it's like for medical tests and physicals and everything. And so I'm at the practice facility for 3 hours doing all different medical screenings, like physical, chiropractor, anything you can think about, feet, teeth, head, concussion. Like we did everything in these 3 hours. I was at the facility the whole time. I was even in the lounge chatting it up with my teammates. Totally forgot to test that day. So the next morning, I'm getting ready to go to practice or this is like day 5, I think. So I just needed one more test and then I could join team practices. And my trainer calls me. I'm literally about to walk out the door, the head of practice. She's like, hey, Cierra, like I'm here and I don't have a COVID test for you from yesterday. And my heart sunk to my feet. I was like, did I not test? Like, this can't be right. Like I was there. I was at the practice facility. I had to test. And then I was like, Hannah, shoot, no, I didn't test. And what had happened is normally I had been parking in the front of the facility. So I had to walk in the front door, which is where the testing was. So normally I would see the testing, test, boom, then go do what I had to do. But the security had told us to start parking in the back of the facility where the players park. So I had parked there and completely bypassed the front door where the testing was at. So just completely like didn't even think about it. And then nobody had mentioned it or anything. After my incident, we were getting text messages every day. Don't forget to test. Remember to test. But I had to be like the guinea pig, unfortunately. So back to the conversation with my trainer, she's like, well, okay, I have to call the league and call our GM to see what needs to take place, but just come to the facility and test. And then hopefully once we get your like negative rapid test, you can just come in and do your individual workout. So I drive to the facility, do my negative test. I'm waiting in the parking lot because you have to wait in the parking lot for 30 to 45 minutes for the test results to come back before you can even come into the facility. So she calls me and she's like, Cierra, I have bad news. The league says you're going to have to start your 6 consecutive tests all over again. And so I'm like, I'm fighting tears at this point. Like, and I hate crying in front of people, like, and just hate it. But I'm like, Hannah, This can't be possible. Like, they're going to send me home. They're going to send me home if I can't practice. There's no point in me being here. Like, this is so out of character for me. And she was like, okay, well, we got your negative test today. Let me call Jim, the GM, and see if we can work something out. So, and she was like, but for now, like, you have to go back to the hotel and, you know, leave the premises. And so I'm like, tears falling down my face as I'm pulling out of the facility, and I instantly call my mom, and she can just tell in my voice. As soon as I say, hey, she's like, what's wrong? And I never cry in front of my mom, but I just broke down. I was like, Mom, I forgot to test yesterday. I was at the facility for 3 hours and just didn't do it. Like, if I can't practice, there's no point in me being here. I'm going home. I might as well go back to the room, pack my stuff up, look what flight I'm going to be on, because there's no way they're keeping me. So she's like, well, okay, just calm down. Call your agent, Mike, see what he can do. Like, see if what y'all can work out. So then I call Mike. I'm fighting back tears with Mike. And I'm just like, this is so out of character for me. That's why I think I'm so frustrated, because I'm like, I'm usually by the book, type A, like, do everything I need to do, go above and beyond. Like, if it's a 2-page paper, I'm probably going to write 5 pages. Like, that's just who I am. So for me to miss testing and potentially be sent home from a Phoenix Mercury training camp and not even have the opportunity to learn from one of the best to ever do it, like, I was so distraught. But Mike, like, calmed me down. My mom calmed me down. Mike gave me, like, the GM's number, Jim. And he was like, basically just tell him everything that you just told me, that you're super apologetic, that this is out of character for you, that it won't ever happen again. Like, just tell him how sincere, you know, you are and how regretful you are. And so I send text message to Jim, and I send a text to Sandy, and I'm like, I understand y'all have to do what's best for you. So if you think you need to send me home, like, you know, I want what's best for the organization. Well, thankfully, in those like 3 hours of me having heart attacks, Jim had talked with the league, and they determined that all I would need to do is have 2 more negative COVID tests to join the team and not the 6 consecutive tests. So I think they made a little exception for me. I don't know, but the basketball gods and the grace of God was looking out. And I got to do 2 more negative tests and then join the team. But it was such like a rocky start. And I was like, what a terrible first impression.
I can see how that would happen, though. I mean, 3 hours of all that testing and questions and everything. I mean, just you get like in a spin cycle of just sending you from one place to the other. And
yes, absolutely. And honestly, if I just would have parked in DT, Diana, she was like, CB, well, she called me CBD. I don't even know what the D was for, but she called me CBD. CBD, just do the drive-through, then just make the U-turn, then go park in the back. She was like, I don't even get out of my car before I test. And so ever since that day she told me that, I just go ahead, hit the drive-through, make the UE, and then go park. I'm like, I'm not leaving this car until I test. And I had written sticky notes everywhere in my hotel room. There was a sticky room on my mirror. There was like, take your butt to testing in the bathroom. Then there was one on my door. Then there was one in my car. Then there was one under my TV. Then there was one on my desk. I mean, I was constantly telling people to remind me to test. Like, it was a fear of mine. Like, I was waking up in the middle of the night, like, did I test type thing.
Hey, it happens. Mistakes happen. That's so funny, though. I would have freaked out.
I was stressed. And Dee was like, don't worry, like, I did it in the bubble. And I'm like, but you're Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
Like, you can get away with stuff like that. I'm Cierra Burdick, like, on the bubble of even being in the WNBA. Like, I have no wiggle room.
Yeah, that's too funny. Well, see, I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yeah, for real, Lex. It was a little rocky. I was skating on thin ice, but it all worked out.
That's funny. Hey, Laura Ward said, you know, you got some side eyes when you said those DT love comments.
I know. I'm gonna hear that from my Lady Vol nation.
Hey, listen, you know, I played with D too, but I was a fan before I even played with her. She was actually a counselor at Nike camp many of the years when I was there. But yeah, she's a great teammate, a good person to have in your corner. She's going to definitely push you.
For sure. Maria, this is a great cameo.
This is Patches.
Hey, Patches.
Eating my hair. I'm just like, what are you doing? let's pay some bills real quick. We got this is the month of June. It's a very bittersweet month because obviously it's Pat's birthday is June 14th. OrangeMountainDesigns.com has a June box of the month where there are surprise items in the box. There's also a t-shirt in the box that will look like this, a legacy to remember Pat Summit. And obviously that's a forget-me-not flower with the basketball as the center.
That's
so
awesome.
OrangeMountainDesigns.com. It is the month of Pat's birthday, and also hard to believe it will be 5 years since Pat died June 28th of 2016, which still hits, I think, probably y'all as if it happened a week ago.
Oh yeah.
When you see that. Alexis Hornbuckle, she is having her Tuesday, Thursday training sessions. This one is a new location, South Doyle High School.
You're going to have people showing up at the wrong day. It's Thursdays.
Oh, did I say Tuesday? It's Tuesdays it's this Thursday.
June
I thought
Thursday.
it was Tuesday. Never mind.
Change everybody for the next 2 Thursdays from, instead of being at Carnes High School, we will be at South Doyle High School. Time still remain the same. Elementary 6 to 7 and middle school 7 to 8. Also, be on the lookout. Just drop a little nugget for y'all to just think, and don't blow me up about it. But I will be doing a camp sponsored by the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Shout out to Dana Hart. So
that's awesome.
Coming to a theater near you soon, as Heather Mason used to say.
Lex, are you not in Charlotte anymore?
I moved back to Knox, baby.
What? News to me.
I know. It happened really, Maria, did it not kind of happen?
It is like Lexus was in North Carolina and then she was in Tennessee. It was like poof. Here she was.
I was going back and forth, meeting with a few different people, obviously B-Mace being one of them, but a few other people on some things, projects I wanted to do and work on. And, resources and opportunities started to just line up. And I'm not going to go against the grain. Like, God, you
don't block your blessings now.
Yeah, look, hey, if this is your will, I'm there. And the way the way that it happened, see, it wasn't nothing but God's will, because coming down to even the condo that we got downtown for the price, and the fact that it was available when we needed to move, the fact that we were able to sublease our apartment and not have to.
Wow.
Like, everything just kind of fell
together nicely. Yeah. Better than you could have imagined.
Man, I couldn't have made it any better off the top.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So Cierra, if you're in town, you know who to hit up.
Oh, for
sure.
I'm
gonna be at Lexus crib.
Hey, you're more than welcome, sis. You know what I'm saying? You're more than welcome. Maria got the pool though. We need to have a pool party.
Yeah, y'all come hang out. The pool's all clean now too. It's ready to go. Y'all have to drive your way out here.
Hey,
I'm gonna split time. I'm gonna go to Lexus. I'm gonna go to Maria's. I'm gonna go to our old manager spot, Jordan. I'm gonna go check out Holly. I'm coming. And whoever else on this show wants to invite me, if you got good food, I'm in there.
Hey, yeah, I love it. Man.
Alexis, Laura Ward wants to know what's up with the old lady camp. If we're gonna try to get that going again now that we're coming out of this pandemic.
We are going to try to keep it, get it going. So after I sat down, number one, I think I tried to rush through it too much with the details, but now I have the venue, which is downtown 211, and also Jackie's Dream. I ran by the soul food place, and I love Jackie to death. She's great people. She always made sure I had good food in my belly when I was in school. And I just ate there today. I can't lie to y'all. That soul food be banging. But doing some things there, draw attention over there and whatnot. But I just wanted to be more closer to basketball season, so that as we go into it, we can actually have pregame shows. We can do, little events, because I want to make it more than just, the few people that are in Knoxville. A lot of people come in for the games. So I want to make it more accessible to fans everywhere without me killing myself and trying to do one in person as well as online. So we're going to do it, Laura, but I want it to be amazing. And the resources that just keep falling in my lap, I'm like, oh yeah, let me push it back again, because we can do something with this. So it's coming. Y'all gonna be better fans. Y'all gonna understand the game a little better. And as Lady Vols get back to where we need to be, fans, y'all gonna do the same thing. So I got y'all. All right.
William, I see your comment about a visit scheduled because Cierra and Alexis, we're talking about recruiting, could be considered as acting in the interest of Tennessee as former Lady Vols. I don't talk recruiting on this show with them there because I don't want to get them sideways with anything. But yeah, it's a bit June 1st, which was yesterday, of course, for the first time in 14 months since the pandemic, recruits can now visit campuses. Finally, so these kids can finally get to all the campuses across the country. Speaking of basketball, they had the freshman video up over the weekend. The little babies moved in. Well, one's a graduate transfer, but the 4 new freshmen.
Right.
Cierra, let's go back in time. What about the first time you moved in? What are your memories of move-in day when you were arriving here as, just a kid?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Marie. I don't remember a whole lot about move-in day. I remember that we were in Morel, and they don't know nothing about that dorm life, Lex.
And
I don't know where you was at.
That's a good. No, we started at Humes, and then Andy Holt the second year.
Okay. So now they got ball hall, beautiful apartments, all this space. They live in luxury lives now. Well, we were still in Morel, and it was like me, A-Mass were in one room, and then we had a joint bathroom with Izzy B and a rower. And we were I want to say we were on the top floor. So if anything, I just remember having to get the cart and take it to the car, load up the cart, and then go to the elevators. And I think they had maybe 1 or 2 elevators that worked in that thing.
Yeah.
Waiting for the elevator and then going all the way up to the top floor. So that's about the only thing I remember from moving day, really. And I think me and A-Mass and we moved in a different day than Izzy B because Izzy B came for summer school, and A-Mass and we did not because we had USA basketball obligations that summer leading into freshman year. But I guess I don't know if I blocked it out of my memory or it was just such a whirlwind. I don't know, but I don't remember too much about it.
Yeah, Alexis, I asked her if she, some people get sad for mom and parents to leave. And I asked Alexis if she was sad. She was ready for him to leave so she could go out and party.
That was Izzy B. Izzy B could not wait to be dropped off. She was like, okay, deuces, bye, Dad, bye, Ma. Like, I'm out of here.
Yep. Hey, listen, that's how it was. I mean, like, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming to help. And I told you, Marie, I had to be there earlier because I had to do my heart catheterization and some stuff for my asthma. So I had medical stuff to do first. So they had to be there for like 4 or 5 days with me. So it wasn't a drop off, So by the time that, everybody else was coming and Gatewood was my roommate, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at Gate like, hey, where are we going? We don't even know where to go, but where are we going?
Alexis, what can you share? What can you tell me about Cierra Burdick I may not know about her?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think anything. I don't know. I feel like what you see is what you get. Like,
I'm pretty much open book over here.
Yeah, I was like, you ask the question, you're gonna get an answer. You know what I mean? It's pretty much like that. See, one of the most down to earth people though, hardworking. I always loved, like she said she played with Big Gus. So when I was playing for Big Gus, you were with, what was the name of the team?
Slezza.
Yeah, Slezza. I just remember y'all's colors, yellow and red. But
yeah.
But we be playing and we just be talking. We going at it, talking smack, and then next thing you know, we just having a real life conversation on the court. And it was
I used to love free throws because then we can really chop it up.
Yeah, I'm about to go stand beside C. Coach talking about go over there, but nah, bro. I'm getting my mind right in the middle of the game. We about to, like, hey, y'all staying? You want to go eat after this? What's
the situation after the game? We actually had to play Lex in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think y'all were the higher seed. Y'all were like a 2 seed that year.
Yeah, our coach wasn't trying to win that game.
And then we played, and it was best of 5 or best of 5, right?
Yeah, it was best of 5. C was killing.
And we were the 7th seed, and we just I guess, I mean, the problem was, Lex, this is where we got y'all. We were young, and y'all were seasoned. And so
thank you, see.
Y'all were seasoned. So our game plan going into the series was just like run. Because the back-to-back, it didn't play in y'all's favor.
Nah, for sure.
Them legs ain't recovering like they used to.
Nah, for sure it didn't. And coach didn't know how, like, you know how you have, I liked him as a person. He definitely knew about basketball, but some coaches can only coach a certain rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I came in later into the season. And
I remember asking you about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, like, you do know what I do, right? Like, we can get up and down with these folks if you want, like, but we gonna have to do it a little different, and your rotation can't be the same. And we had good talks. See, I met with this man. We watched film together. We developed a game plan. Come to games of y'all.
Changed it up. Went back to his old schemes.
And I was like, you know what? I just don't give. I'm just like, yo, I'm here for my teammates. I'm gonna give y'all all I got when I'm on the court. But it is what it is. I did get mad that the only game we won in that series because he don't want me to play the point. Boy, I ran that point that game. So, man, I'm like, nah, you gonna take me out regardless, or you gonna move this person around regardless, have me all out of position? Nah, I'm just, I see you. Hey.
At that point, you just had to do what you had to do.
Yeah, man, it's about winning. What it's supposed to be at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, he's not there anymore.
Is he not?
Nah, it's a different guy. A different guy took over.
How was he?
Peter's all right. He's more laid back. Whereas your coach, he had rules for everything. Like on defense, this is what we doing. Period. Peter, boy, it was like pulling teeth trying to put rules in. It was like honestly, me and Julie McBride, and I swear I pray there's no Polish people on here. Julie McBride and I were doing the coaching and making all the adjustments.
Oh, my bad. I'm on that's Jawan Smith, by the way, at VFL.
Who's popping in over there, Alexis? Is that Bobby?
Nah, that was Jawan.
Oh,
that was Wani. That was my twin hooper when I was in school. We played
Sierra, I saw some Patches is just setting screens here left and right tonight. Here we go. I saw some pictures you posted from Poland, and it looked like you were in about 4 feet of snow. When people say it's cold, do you just laugh at them now?
Oh yeah. I was in Phoenix actually with an Australian rookie, the one that played at Syracuse, and she was talking about how it was chilly. And I'm like, we're in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 93 degrees outside. And she was talking about chilly. Granted, okay, in the evening, it did cool off. It was maybe
like 70 though.
mid 60s, young 70s. And she's talking about it's chilly. And I'm like, when I came off the plane, I'm in full sweats and Uggs. Because in Poland, it was still in the 30s. So I legit went from 30-degree weather to 93-degree weather. And she had the nerve to talk about it's chilly. I'm just like, baby, you don't know what chilly is. And she went to Syracuse. So I'm like, I know you know what cold is.
Man, yeah, that's crazy. Because I will say Arizona gets cold, but it's in the winter, especially at night. But definitely not in no summertime.
Absolutely not. But after living in Russia for 8 months, nothing can faze me, really, when it comes to cold weather.
Sierra, do you plan to try to go back overseas, or is that all in flux right now? I know you're hoping, and you belong in the WNBA. I mean, basically, it's a budget issue. That's what we're looking at. I mean, not a talent issue. We're looking at the salary cap and the fact that, and the WNBA too. It's not like a veteran can say, okay, I'll give up a portion of my salary. So you see that sometimes in other sports. You can't do that. So
right. Yeah, the WNBA is interesting. I think it's one of the only leagues in the world where you really can't negotiate. Like you've got your just set contracts based on years of service. Yeah. And I mean, I would have took a pay cut honestly, to play. I mean, the difference between the rookie salary and the vet minimum was really it was $12,000 if you chop it up numbers wise,
Yeah,
which, in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of money,
right.
considering whether that's going to make somebody play or not, or give them the opportunity to play or not.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed in a future CBA, where players should be able to, negotiate if they want to take a cut, to get a better roster. I think that will make the game more exciting too. And these vets that are making max, like, granted, a lot of them probably don't even need these salaries anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they don't, but
Yeah,
they deserve it. That's crazy though to be
absolutely, they deserve it. Yeah.
that. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. But it's like the WNBA, NBA. I feel like if you're gonna put the W in front of the NBA, there's no way you don't run it. The business side of it should be ran identical, right? Like that to me is crazy.
It just comes down to money. NBA got all the money in the world, and we simply just don't have very much.
Yeah.
Our salary cap is 1.34 million per team. So a lot of teams can't even, it's 12-man rosters, but a lot of teams can't even hold 12. Like Phoenix can only hold 11, and 4 or 5 of those roster spots have to be rookie salaries. Connecticut's in the same situation. They're paying Alyssa Thomas's max contract, and she's out for the season with an Achilles rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she's taking a spot. She's taking money, and rightfully, she's one of the best players, in the world. She deserves that. But now Connecticut can only have 11 or 10 players because of it.
Yeah, we got to do better, y'all. We got to do better. Like you said, hopefully it continues to grow. That's why I kind of laugh at when the whole discussion about WNBA expansions, adding teams, like it makes zero sense. You got to add money first before you start adding more teams. Like where are these people going to go? And now you're just like we got to build up, not out. Like as far as like the infrastructure of how it's ran and getting the money in. How would you propose to bring more money to the WNBA and professional women's basketball?
I mean, I think we're doing good. I think we're moving in the right direction. I think we're doing good things. And I think a lot of people just forget that the WNBA has only been around for 25 years.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, it's really young. I know the NBA struggled when they were first coming out. Like they had to take money and loans from other professional leagues to get up and rolling. And look at them now. Now they've got some of the highest paid athletes in the world.
Right.
So I just think, I mean, it continues, viewership. We have to have eyes on our product. And I think we're getting better with social media. I think, these women are getting more looks. They're getting, there's a dog crying and I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
I got my dogs barking too. My dogs are barking. Somebody's at the door, but I mean, it's 7:46 people. I don't answer the door after 7.
Too late. Yeah, too late.
Like,
go ahead, Lex. Oh,
about the person at the door. Like, yeah, what you doing? Go home.
Did somebody showed up the other day to sell me ant and creepy crawler killer, and I'm like, but I love the ants and the creepy crawlers. I don't want to kill them. So they knocked
on the wrong door.
Yes.
But yeah, Lex, I mean, I think just continuing to get more eyeballs on the product. And I think we're moving in the right direction. I think the partnership with Google will help. The Twitter games are a cool initiative. Facebook is doing games now. So just making it more accessible and getting more eyeballs on it. I think that's the biggest thing. And Maria, yes, to answer your question from earlier, I am planning on going back overseas. I'm gonna play till the wheels fall off.
That's a really good recall that you remember. I forgot I asked the question. So
she smoothly came back to it too.
She did.
You see how she did that? Smooth.
That's the communications major in me.
Apparently. Laura Ward wants to know, would y'all support a new team in Nashville? That's kind of the latest thing people are
pushing for
about.
that. I've been pushing for that. I said Nashville or Knoxville needs a team. I think the Bay Area needs a team. I think Portland needs a team. And Charlotte, obviously, I want to have another team.
Yeah. Hey, I remember one of the first few WNBA games I went and watched was Charlotte Sting and New York Liberty, because Lori was playing for Liberty at the time. Actually stayed at Alex Fuller's parents' house because they were already living in
That's
Charlotte.
crazy.
And we went to her game. Dawn Staley was playing, obviously.
Yeah.
Playing, obviously. So
yeah, Allison Feaster. Yeah, I remember that roster.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just cool to watch, and I thought it had a pretty good turnout. You know what I mean? And I'm used to UT Lady Ball crowd, so for me, if I felt like that's a respectable crowd, it was a respectable crowd.
Right, and it makes you wonder why they folded.
Well, why did Houston, Detroit, all these teams that have multiple championships?
Yep, my point exactly.
At this conference, y'all gonna get me high. We ain't got that long in the show. Plus, I'm about to take me and Sandra about to take one of my little third graders home because her little brother turned 4 today. So we're gonna pop up at the birthday party. It's more than basketball here, man. We become family with a lot of our clients, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. We said the same thing. I know this is non-women's basketball news, but yeah, pretty big basketball news today. Coach K is going to retire at Duke. He's going to go one more season. So
yeah.
That's got to be pretty big
It's
news.
going to be weird. Being in Charlotte, this is ACC city. So you either go to UNC, NC State, or Duke living here. So it's going to be really weird to see college basketball, especially ACC basketball, without, Coach Williams and Coach K. There's going to be a lot of tears shed, I think, here.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody again about Orange Mountain Designs, the special Pat Summit shirt that is happening, that will be in that surprise box, orangemountaindesigns.com. It is a tribute to Pat, which credit to Orange Mountain Designs for still trying to keep Lady Vol logo going, Pat Summit legacy alive. So I know I'm preaching to the choir here, y'all. I mean, like I said, I can't believe she's been gone 5 years. Just cannot believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy, and the deeper I go into like my therapy sessions and stuff, she pops up a lot. And I always say, man, Coach, I just have so many more questions for you. It's spending that time and just really having a chance to pick her brain is what I'm gonna miss. Her laugh, her smile was infectious. I mean, even though she was a tough coach to play for, that's the part I loved as a competitor. But the part of me as just a young lady loved the fact of how motherly she was, how much of a mentor she was. And she can make you see things and handle things and approach things in a different way. And when it comes to, women's basketball, now me being back in Tennessee, like, Coach, what should I really focus on? I know it's the fundamentals. I know it's certain things, but Coach, if this was you, what would you do? Just those little fun questions. So, yes, Coach, I definitely miss you.
I know we're about to run out of time, but I want to slip back to the beginning of what you were saying. You were talking about therapy sessions.
Yeah.
I just want to say good for you. I mean, these therapy sessions are therapeutic. I mean, by definition. And I think we're seeing more and more attention paid to this, particularly among athletes, like with Naomi Osaka at the French Open, of where the mental well-being of athletes needs to be a bigger priority. And so kudos to you, Alexis, for exploring those things and being a role model in that way for other people, because the people think that there's something wrong with you. They don't think there's anything wrong with you if you need a blood test or a COVID test.
Right.
But you say, I need to, go talk to a therapist, and they look at you like, something's really wrong with you.
Yeah, I thank you for that, because it took me a while to even get to the point to even ask for help, so the fact to be able to speak on it, man, I've taken tremendous strides over the past year and a half. And you mentioned some things about basically the stigma, is what you can wrap it up to, and athletes being afraid to ask for help because you don't want to lose a job opportunity, especially overseas, because they think you're crazy or they think your mind's not there. they'll use it against you. And when it comes down to the collegiate level, it's a lack of resources, a lack of awareness, and lack of resources. So that's something I've been working with Revitalist Clinic out in West Knoxville, and they have clinics everywhere. Now they just opened one in Johnson City and Chattanooga, as far as their Tennessee locations, and Ketamine Media. So my actual journey of my mental health journey, y'all gonna see that documentary coming soon because we start tomorrow.
Wow, you got all kinds of news. You got a camp with the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, now a documentary. I mean, you just full of news. We just got to get Burdick over here to Knoxville.
That's big time.
This was the will of God, this move. It was more than basketball for me. My decision and getting out of the comfort zone, like, okay, I'm here, my mom and dad are here, I built clientele, I've been here 3 years, and God's saying, yeah, that's fine, I put you here so you could see you could do it. Now come back here and let's really get you where you need to be. And I'm just like, okay, do I want to do a documentary? What are people going to think about me? All that, all the fear. Believe, yes, guys, I have a lot of fear. I know I look a little tough, you understand? But I have a lot of fear. So making that decision to say, you know what? I want to help as many people as I can. And I can't just say that and not do it. So, you know, after praying about it, talking to my parents, my girlfriend about it, and different people very close to me, it was an easy decision to make.
The only advice I can give anybody, if you're writing a book or documentary, if you want it to be authentic, cut open a vein and bleed. That's what you're doing. You are cutting open a vein and bleeding, okay, we're figuratively speaking here. Yes. And that you're letting your life flow onto that page or onto that, digital medium or however it's being formatted. So yeah. Be authentic, because no one can tell your story the way you can tell your story.
Absolutely.
And Doris Parsley Workman said Pat was the greatest coach ever. She was a hero. Doris also earlier gave you a shout out, Alexis. She's also from West Virginia, so she wanted to.
Shout out to the W, the 304. Appreciate it.
Well, Sierra, I know you're probably having to hold up your phone unless you've got it in a little holder or something. I know, Alexis, you got to go to a birthday party. I will say the best therapy sessions we can do poolside out here with some, cold beverages. And I just got a new basketball goal for the pool. It's Carolina blue. Y'all can call it Lady Vol blue. That's just fine. So we can, y'all, when you get over here, y'all need to get your girlfriend, Sandra. Sierra, you can bring any guest you want, and let's have some pool time.
Let's make it happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. See, man, I appreciate you hopping on. I'm glad it worked out.
Absolutely. Always appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
All right. Everybody, support OrangeMountainDesigns.com. Alexis Hornbuckle basketball the next 2 Thursdays, South Doyle High School. It's off John Sevier Highway. It's easy to get to. Everybody support your former Lady Vols. Sierra, if there's anything we can do for you, anything you need to promote, you do it. You let us know.
I will say this. I'm working with Players Trunk, and I'm going to have my own trunk coming up. It should be released sometime this month, and it's got various signed jerseys of mine, various Lady Vol gear that I have. You can go on the Players Trunk and you can purchase it. It can be yours. So I'll send you that link info, Maria, when I get
do
it.
That.
It should be released this month.
So it's like trunk, like a TRUNK, like a trunk.
It's called the Players Trunk.
Okay.
But actually, it's all of my gear that I've game worn gear, practice worn gear, and I've signed some of my WNBA jerseys to put in the trunk. I've actually got all the stuff right here. Am getting ready to get shipped out and go where it needs to go. So there's 3 WNBA jerseys, some practice jerseys, and a bunch of Tennessee gear in there. So it might be worth some. It might be. Some of y'all might like it. So I'll definitely give y'all that information.
Yeah, everybody here would want to check it out, and I'll amplify it for you all I can. So just let me know.
Appreciate you. Thanks, Maria.
Before I sign out, y'all won't believe who I ran into. Y'all won't believe who I ran into. What's up, Gwen? Look at Gwenny.
What?
Gwenny. Sierra, Maria.
I just had to give her information out. I hope she didn't mind.
She said she just had to give your information out. She hope you don't mind. Are you in practice still?
I'm 200.
Are you in practice right now?
Yes.
You're in practice. You tell me about it in the car, okay?
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sierra. You guys take care, and we will end the live stream. And Alexis,
Alrighty.
send us out of here, and I'll hit end stream.
Absolutely. Once again, Lady Vol fans, thank you for watching the Buck and 2MC show with one of my favorite former Lady Vols, Cierra Burdick. Good people, y'all make sure y'all go support her and what she has going on. Make sure you click the like and thumbs up button and follow us and subscribe. Until next time, we love you and go Lady Vols.